So, I wanted to talk about gambling today because it seems like it's pretty much just about everywhere, right? We see it in all sorts of ads, especially on like online video sites. Even some video sites are ran by gambling companies. I think Kick is ran by some sort of gambling site, right? But yeah, it's just everywhere and it's a vice that we all know about. We probably all heard of somebody who gambled or maybe even know someone who gambled. Maybe we gambled ourselves. But basically, I just want to say my thoughts on it, and it's that I think we all know that gambling's just another trap, right? It's just another trap, and it's just really heavily advertised nowadays because we're all so desperate with the economy the way it is and everything. They always dangle that, oh, you might win $1 bajillion. Come on, and take a risk. You might win $1 bajillion. All your problems might disappear in one play or something like that, right? I mean, they don't go into that much detail about it, but that's what they promise, that's what they promise, and they know that that's why we would go for it. So that's how they draw us in. And that's kind of that's not exactly how it was, but I was kind of drawn into gambling initially for similar reasons. I wasn't like starving for money or anything, but my money was being taken from me at the time. So I thought, oh, well, it's going to get taken from me either way. At least gambling's the choice. At least gambling's my choice to burn the money, right? So I didn't see that big of a difference. But even when I started, I'm not going to say what site I used or what games I played for a few reasons. Mostly because I don't want people imitating it. Because I do think gambling is a very effective trap. And I'm saying that as someone who actually stayed up the whole time. But basically, I got into gambling because, my money was going to be taken from me either way. So I wanted to have the agency of it. And yeah, as I gambled, I did a lot of work before I went in because at first, I threw a few bucks and I'm like, oh, this sucks. I'm just losing. And then I noticed a specific factor I could exploit. And I I really studied on it and I spent like hours, like multiple days worths of hours, the full 24, to try to make something, a little program that would do the math for me as I played, because it was an online casino. So I made a little program that did the math for me as I played to increase my chances, and it worked. It worked. It didn't make it like, oh, I would always win every round. It wasn't like that. It just told me the chances, and I could make good judgment calls based on that. And so yeah, it was a very specific game, very specific factors that made it vulnerable to my strategy, I guess you could say. But that's about all I'm gonna say. And even then, even with all that winning, I was always careful because you got to be careful because even in favorable looking conditions, you can get like a 20x loss streak, right? So as I kept that in mind, I stayed up and I still didn't make much. I didn't make much at all. Over like 2 years, I made like not even $1,000, just like a few hundred, like 500 or something like that. And that's the thing is that even if let's say I had gone hard on it, right? Let's say I made my program even better and I bet bigger, they would have just kicked me out. Because I mean, everyone knows it. Everyone knows it in the back of their minds that casinos don't let you win. But that's just if they could catch you. And I think they didn't catch me because I was just winning like very few bucks. Like I wasn't even gambling every day. I wasn't even gambling every week. But yeah, not every week, not even every 2 weeks. Maybe every 3 weeks, I'm not sure, but overall I just won like a few hundred, like 500 something. And if I won more in a short amount of time, they would have definitely banned me because they just reserve the right to do that for any reason. They don't need a real reason. It's in the probably in a lot of their terms where they can just close down your account for any reason. And you'll see this in other places too. You'll see this in real casinos or people who actually do have big buck strategies that actually work. Card counters, the guys who play blackjack and go to casinos, they go on YouTube and they win a few rounds, and then the pit boss comes and they're like, "Oh, you're banned from playing blackjack." Because I mean, that's what it is. They advertise these big wins, but they don't actually want you winning. And as much as if I was, the ruler of the world, I'd say, if I was a ruler, I'd say, if you advertise big wins and then you kick people out for winning, they get to do things to you, and I'll leave it at that. Because I really can't stand the dishonesty. But that's the idea I want to drill into your head. That even if you do get like a super good strategy that's even better than what I did, you're not gonna stay winning. You're never gonna make enough to solve all your problems like that. Because they're gonna find you and they're gonna ban you, and they're gonna be within their right to do that, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's always videos on YouTube where these guys actually do get the strategies, like I said before, the blackjack guys. I forget their names. There's a few guys who do it, I believe, and yeah, it's all just a big lie that I just happened to work tirelessly enough at to. I wouldn't even say the time was worth it really to stay up. I wouldn't say the time was worth it. I spent like days and days and days to do all the math because it was a lot of math. But even then I didn't even make $1,000. So even then it wasn't worth it. So I'd advise you to stay away from it too, because anything like that probably isn't worth it, especially when they're just going to ban you anyway. For 24 hours, for all those hours I worked, I could have worked like a regular job and made even more money, guaranteed, not even with any risk, not even with the risk of catching an addiction either. Not that I did. I don't really gamble now. I wouldn't say I'm addicted because I was very like goal oriented. I wasn't like someone playing slots and just like pressing the button like those boomers, like those videos of the boomers just spending their entire inheritance away that you see sometimes. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Just stay away from it because even if you're good, they're not gonna let you, get the bang for your buck. They're not gonna let your smarts or whatever pay off over there, and they're just gonna treat you like garbage. So that's about it. Let me know what you think if you've had any gambling experiences, and that's about it. Goodbye.